Hello everyone, a very great morning to you all. My name is Arthur, the co-founder of InvestAQ. First and foremost, a very warm welcome to our second virtual live pitch, hashtag AQ Connects, an event exclusively brought to you by InvestAQ. Now what does exactly AQ really means? Now introducing you the adaptability quotient, one of the existences of intelligent quotients, a subjective set of qualities that loosely define as the ability to pivot and flourish in an environment of fast and frequent change like what we are living today. Adapt or become obsolete. Over the next 3 years, 120 million people in the world's largest economy may need to be reskilled because of automation. And so here we are witnessing during this current ongoing pandemic of the COVID-19, which has caused most businesses to rethink, re-strategize, and also adapting to the market behavior fast enough. Now AQ is just not the capacities to absorb new information, but also the abilities to work out what is really relevant, to unlearn the obsolete knowledge, to overcome the challenges, and also to make a conscious effort to be changing. Now this being said, this is why we are here today and curating this entire show to give entrepreneurs the platforms to be showcasing what they truly believe very much, what they have been working hard for, waking up enthusiastically every morning and realizing the dream of becoming a market leader in their own field and to impact the community in the very long run in today's modern society. Ladies and gents, or to all Zoom and also Facebook viewers right now that you're watching, we believe with the right tool, with the right knowledge, with the right mentorship, one able to mitigate the risks and pitfalls of capital raising challenges, which could save entrepreneurs a lot of time and also hard knocks. Now ensuring that you are able to raise the right deserving amounts for your business. Today here we are very delighted to be having two promising panelists from our Malaysia society. Also, they are local investors locally. First and foremost, we have Mr. Yong Kai Ping, the CEO of SITEC, alongside with Mr. Jimmy Tom, the Senior VP of OSK Venture International Berhad, who will be on board as the panelist. And joining the Q&A session later would be Mr. William Du, the CEO of Engineers House Group, alongside myself. Now there will be 5 very interesting companies today to be showcasing their pitch today from the region of Singapore and Malaysia. Each company, it's only given 5 minutes to pitch. There will be bells indicating for them on the remaining time left. Now after each pitch, then there will be a debrief session by each and every of our panelists. And also followed by the Q&A session with the panelists before we wrap up this entire show. Now, as an audience, I would want everyone to be participating, be it whether you're watching in Zooms or Facebook. Do drop in your questions at any time throughout this entire 2 hours of show, either in Facebook comment box that you are watching right now, or also Zooms in the chat box. So with that, ladies and gents, I'm going to take you very quickly to understand what really InvestAQ is all about. InvestAQ we introduce investor relations to technology. Now, we are here to connect capital. Our mission is to become the pivotal platform connecting high-growth companies to high-net-worth investors, PE and also VC firms, family officers, and industry players. We assist entrepreneurs, investors, and industry players in providing them the right tactical solutions and capital raising exercise and maximizing investor return of investment. What are the typical problems that entrepreneurs usually face? Now, as an entrepreneur myself, I've gone through a very long, tiring, exhausting manual process. First and foremost, I need to look for the right investor, potential investor, who actually likes my industry and sector. After that, I will be having to send my pitch deck to individuals investor, and with the hope that the investors will be coming back to me. Now, this has created so much loss of time and money, of course, as an entrepreneur. Have you also been pitching but not able to be getting a yes from any investor? Now, out of 10 investors, 3 will be expressing their interest. In the end, it's only 1 investor will possibly give you a meet-up. And with that being said, your conversion is lower than ever before. Have you been trying also to build a connection with investors, but just simply no luck at all? Now, the average of investors will be looking through the pitch deck. It's only 3 minutes and 44 seconds before deciding to meet up another company, which means your message need to be precise, concise, and punchy in order for you to get an immediate answers from the investors. Now, the real question is, do you have all that? And here we are, InvestAQ, how we were able to be helping you. We're the platform investor relations listing to have the visibilities from the high net worth individuals, angels, VC and PE firms, and investors. We also provide coaching from the experienced mentors in fundraising and also startup fundamentals. We curate virtual showcases, live pitches for founders and entrepreneurs to give them better visibility to potential investors. How does our InvestAQ portals will be assisting you? Well, we are very delighted to announce that we will be launching this in the next 2 to 3 months' time. And the InvestAQ portal will be providing you the SaaS analytics for investor entrepreneur matching, uploading all key information to give better visibility to investors. We have also videos and photos that you are able to upload to be attracting the potential investor, availabilities of relevant tools to enhance your fundraising process. There is a virtual and also a physical pitching platform. And of course, as an entrepreneur, you are able to access to thousands of investors around the globe. And what are the other value-adding services that we provide? Fundraising when the deal is good. We have secondary deals. We host and curate a live webinar and also virtual shows as like what you are watching live right now, providing media production, branding and communication, and of course, when the whole entire COVID-19 has settled down, we are very excited to be providing a private concierge events to bring a community of like-minded entrepreneurs and investors together. We have vast networks across the globe, from Kuala Lumpur to Singapore to Hong Kong to Australia to China to London and United States. Now here we are. Both William and I are the frontliners of InvestAQ. And we have a combined of 35 years of managerial and entrepreneurial experience in this industry itself. So why should you be moving forward with us, or possibly even be curious about what InvestAQ is about? We give you the holistic of investor relations solutions in one single touch point. Everything that what an entrepreneur and investor needs, essentially for their fundraising process. We provide an extensive regional ecosystem network support, and of course, we have an experienced management team. Now, if you guys are keen to get to know us better, to know more about us, do not hesitate and feel free to drop us an email at helloinvestaq@gmail.com. With that being said, here I am wrapping up my welcome remarks and the introduction of InvestAQ. To those friends who just joined us, we bid you welcome to AQ Connects, our second virtual live pitch event. With that, we're very delighted to be having 5 companies who will be giving us a very promising virtual live presentation. In the event, if you do express any interest, of course, do feel free, to be dropping us, either an email or reaching out, to the respective founder itself. So with that, ladies and gents, and to all the viewers that you are watching it live right now, let's take a look at our first startup, first companies who will be pitching. And they are none other than the DateIdeas from Singapore.
Currently, over 50% of long-term serious relationships end up in failure. And couples spend over $2,000 on counseling and workshops just to make things work. But these solutions are extremely ineffective, where only 1 in 5 of distressed couples actually turn to it, and the relapse rates for these solutions are as high as over 50%. We intend to solve this problem by completely reinventing dates through a SaaS model, because science have shown that the most successful long-term relationships end up being the ones that enjoy a consistent and successful dating life. So these features that we're going to incorporate in this SaaS model include AI-powered relationship profiling, curated date plans, as well as actionable tips. These will be seamlessly integrated into young couples' date activities. And ultimately, what we intend to do is to cultivate crucial relationship habits from very early on in their dating lives. So I'll jump deeper into the features. The first feature is the relationship profiling feature. So this feature will be a science-backed, there will be science-backed questionnaires that will be asked to couples on our platform, where it's going to be taken every 6 months. So these features reveal the strengths, weaknesses, and unique relationship dynamics of each relationship. But these features serve as a crucial backbone for us to collect data in order to understand each unique relationship better. The second feature is the screen share, is the curated date plans feature. So after collecting crucial data of each unique personality and each unique relationship, what we intend to do is to inspire a consistent, sustainable, and enhanced dating life via weekly dates that are recommended to each unique relationship persona. So as you can see on the left, there will be a calendar on the platform where couples can get to see where and when they can plan for dates, and as well as along with that, they'll also get recommended date ideas specifically for their relationship. The second feature, the last feature is the actionable tips feature. So in order to fill up the gaps between dates, what we want to provide is to enhance each couple's daily interactions via bite-sized knowledge and also unique to each individual relationship profile. This will eventually strengthen the long-term relationship as a whole. So our business model is based on the freemium model. For the free tier version, it will be free of charge. But what couples will be allowed to do is to provide for ad hoc booking, and they'll also get basic profiling of their relationship. For the pro version, which is our lowest tier subscription version, couples will be provided with 2 curated date ideas unique for their relationship personality. Also, they'll also get advanced profiling for each relationship, and on top of that, they'll get access to the actionable tips feature that I mentioned earlier. And for the premium version, it will be a year-long subscription fee, and of course at a cheaper rate. So currently we are in product development stage, but what we've done over the past 2 to 3 years is to build a community of couples. Currently we have over 30,000 couples within our community, and these will be our early users when we launch the product in November this year. We've seen very strong retention rates and strong month-on-month growth of this community, and we are sure that we can sustain growth moving forward. On top of that, we also have formed over 100 merchant partners, all of whom are in Singapore for the moment, but they have agreed to come on board our platform when we launch in November this year. So the market size of this industry is extremely large. So in the next 2 years, we intend to capture just the Singapore market, and that accounts for $720 billion of amount of spend by couples on dates. And in the long run, we intend to capture Southeast Asia followed by the rest of the world. This is our current team. So as you can see, all of us have very strong experience and many years of experience in both the relationship space as well as the tech space. So we've run marketplace companies before and led tech teams as well as being relationship experts in our own fields in the past. What we also have is a board of psychologist advisors because ultimately we want to depend on science-backed data, provide the best solution to solve this problem. So we have a team of psychologists both in America and in Singapore, and all of whom are researchers in the top universities. And with that, I've come to the end of my presentation. Thank you so much for your time.
Right, there you go. So we have Rini from Singapore on DateIdeas. So with that, we now would like to have the debrief session, and none others, that we have none other than Mr. Yong Kai Ping and also Jimmy Tom, that they will be giving a constructive feedback to Rini from Singapore. Thank you very much, Rini, for your presentation. And over to you, Kai Ping and Jimmy.
Right. So hi all. I'm Rini, and thanks for the introduction as well, Arthur. So I guess I think what will be interesting for us will be I think a sense of economics for DateIdeas. It is good that there's a bit of traction about 30,000 so I think 30,000 individuals right now. But I think it will be good if you get some sense of how much you have to spend to acquire this much of the users. Besides that, I guess starting as a SaaS is good. But then I think what would be of interest for potential investors obviously is economics of it, the cost to get it, how frequent do they engage with each other, how frequent do they then use the DateIdeas, for example, so that it gets a sense of what is the potential revenue going forward as well.
Yeah, I'll just answer that. So basically right now, the community that we have, we didn't spend any amount of money to acquire them. So it's all pure word of mouth marketing, which has been our strategy in the early stages. But what we've also been doing start to earn traction in terms of revenue from them. So currently we earn about 4 to 5 4,000 Singapore dollars per month from this community.
If I may, just add on to this question, it is good that you say that all these are grown organically. But I think typically for a startup play or a SaaS play, it would be good for us to get some sense of how much would you get if you spend for per dollar basis. Then I think working backwards as a potential investor will then know for every $10,000 or like $10,000 that we spend on, we'll get some sense of the X amount of potential eyeballs that will come in as well. Organically is good, it shows that stickiness, but being able to go outward, right, acquire all these customers by spending some dollar will give us some sense of what's the economics by spending as well.
Understand. Yeah, I think definitely when we launch the product in November, I think that will be our key focus, really on doing unit economics analysis, the customer acquisition cost, the burn rate, the retention rate, and things like that. And yeah, that will be the key metric that we look at and make sure we get it right before scaling or investing more into marketing. Yeah, thanks for the feedback.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Jimmy. What about yourself, Kai Ping? Could you just unmute yourself so hands as ringing so we're able to hear that?
Okay. Hi, Remy. Okay. I'm trying to guess. Can you tell me what's your pain point you're trying to solve and basically lead back to your TA target audience in like say like Singapore, right? Okay. And what's your key competitor in the market? And then as well as your growth strategy, on every stage. Can you just run through that?
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for the question. So, with regards to pain point, so ultimately we are targeting a young audience of couples. So to us we define pain point as a short-term pain point, and eventually we want to solve this long-term pain point, which is going to arise in their relationship. So the short-term pain point today is basically the lack of ease of finding things to do in a convenient manner, interesting things to do that will enhance their relationship. So currently, it takes a lot of time to source for these DateIdeas in Singapore especially, and also by being that sometimes. So there's two things when it comes to having a high quality date, which is the first thing is consistency, right? Today a lot of couples want to go out and want to spend time together to sort of build their relationship, but they don't know where to go, what to do. And the second thing is the quality of dates, which is even if they hang out and decide to do something, it's always the same thing over and over again, which doesn't help the date in the long run. But ultimately, the long run pain point that most couples, I'll be honest with you, when they're young, they don't see it. But eventually, by not having a high quality dating life, the chances of them having a low quality relationship is higher in the long run. So that's the long term pain point that after serving as the initial hook, we intend to show them, educate them, hey, you need to invest in your dates over time. Yeah, with regards to competitors, so there's currently a few competitors in the space. So I'll split our competitors up into two general categories. So the first category are competitors that are looking to solve the problem of failed relationships. So a lot of them currently provide similar solutions to counseling and therapy. So either text therapies where couples can text in, or I have problems with my partner, can you help me? Either that, or companies are also playing around with AI models to sort of provide education or micro learning opportunities for couples to learn about communication, about commitment and things like that. That's the solution. But I think the main difference between us and them is that's a prescriptive solution. So it falls back to my initial problem statement of how these are ineffective because they naturally select couples who are already facing distress or problems, not really the overall couples who in the first place need to prevent these problems. So the second group of competitors are competitors in the lifestyle space. So solving our short-term problem of providing ideas for things to do and places to go for couples, which are of good quality. So these platforms include Choke, Bubble, Faith. So these are very typical lifestyle platforms, but they accommodate a mass market. And because of that, the offerings or packages they put up on the platform are not curated towards couples. Yeah, so that's the difference between us and them, which is we are specific towards targeting couples and in order to redefine this and empower relationships in the long run. And your last question with regards to unit economics. Yeah, so the plan and the growth strategy is basically when we launch the product is to play around with for the first 2 months is to really play around with different growth tactics. For example, paid ads, community building, things like and influencer marketing and things like that. And ultimately what we intend to do is after that first 2 months, intend to choose one or two strategies that have proven to work. And we are going to double down specifically on those strategies and invest a bulk of our funding on that. On top of that, after that, moving forward, after collecting sort of a good flow of acquisition, I think a lot of effort will be put in on retaining our users. So in terms of understanding from a data standpoint how we can retain and ensure that there's a growth loop within our community itself. Yeah.
Okay. As far as I know, there are two types of dating apps, and one is like in China and also in Taiwan. I know a few. One of the most successful is in a TV program, and then the other one, Taiwan, is dating apartment, which has also a lot of Malaysian Singapore users as well. That's the introduction, right? So yours are more, let's say, more the later stage kind of dating apps. So I guess this is a more niche product, right? Kind of niche product, and yeah. So I think the challenge will be one is what you at this stage you are growing by, I think, getting more community base and also mouth to reputation kind of introduction kind of thing, right? So I think you really need to get a lot of I think basically it's based on success story on because the early stage dating apps will be based on the opportunity to introduce to as many people as possible. So yours is more later stage, right? So that is then the successful case will be quite crucial for the growth because you're based on reputation, and then you're not going to spend a lot of money on a TV program, on your TV dating program, on yeah. So I think that's where your challenge will to how to it's basically a growth hack, how to actually get the mouth to mouth and also the reputation kind of introduction, quicken the steps, and also grow your community.
Thanks for the suggestions. Definitely, that's something that we are really going to focus a lot on, and hopefully that will work for us. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, if I may add as well, I think thanks for bringing these points up. I think if I may add, it seems it appears DateIdeas is positioned very much after probably the second part of the funnel, where we see your long-term plan is obviously to address the pain points in generating a lot of good ideas, but being able to curate and attract the eyeballs, what a lot of your peers are doing right now. And effectively, you want to leverage on these eyeballs to then do the tail end of the business where you go offline. I think where it would be good, I guess, is where you could then help bridge our visibility from how do you intend to translate from these eyeballs, be it from organically within your own channel, or your partners have been doing so well because for them it's just the date, they just not match them without looking into the deeper end of the engagement. They go by volume, whereas you want to focus on the quality as well. It's different approach, but I think that maybe there could be some sort of partnership. If not a partnership, then being able to then compete with them that a very narrow focus, more quality focus may prevail over the longer run. But from my perspective is that it is a numbers game. By going with volume and quantity with what most of these guys are doing right now, they just average out the cost and whatnot, and they hope you just get a quick buck out of it. Being a bit more focused is good. You have a bit more, you have a much deeper relationship, but being a narrow focus, then I think the customer scalability comes in as well.
Yeah.
The element of offline, where you need to still partner with offline venues, okay? There's also the ability to be with them in the long run, 2 or 3 years after the dating period before they get married as well.
Yeah.
I think this is where you need to tackle the focus by highlighting your focus is a narrow part of the funnel, not so much on matching the quantities, but being able to address the positioning. Next is very much to help us visualize how you see a longer relationship will generate a longer customer relationship value as well for you.
Yeah, understand.
Okay.
Yeah, got it. Thanks. Yeah, I think that's something that we will definitely bring out more of, and focus on really highlighting that the customer lifetime value comes in terms of length of time with us rather than the volume or scale at the starting point. Got it.
There we go. Thank you so much, Mr. Remy. And ladies and gents, that was Remy from DateIdeas from Singapore. And of course, also we heard the constructive feedback from Taipei as an energy as well. So ladies and gents, here is our next presenter, Anson Wang, the Chief Executive Officer of JobStore Group. And he will have 5 minutes of this speech. And with that, let's tune in as our ears to Anson.
Hi, morning everyone. So let me share the screen first. It looks like a big problems here. Other.
Oh yes, yeah.
I think my sharing will get. They asked me to update the software now. So should we? Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I think this a bit.
Right, no worries, Anson. I will set a time for you. While we wait for your.
Vincent, I will share on my screen.
You share your screen.
Whatever is here. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, I will set the time and then.
Okay. So with that, let's hear from Anson.
from JobStore. Anson, over to you.
Yeah. Okay. So thanks, Arthur. Good morning. So my name is Anson. So today I will be introducing JobStore Group. Arthur, next. So first of all, I'd like to introduce myself a bit. So my name is Anson. So I'm the founder and CEO of JobStore Group. Before JobStore, I was founder of recruitmap.com, the first vertical job search engine in Malaysia and the region. Then after that, I started Juku.com, a cloud application management platform. Both we sold for about $8 million US. Regards JobStore, next. So currently we have three existing business, JobStore, Talent Cloud, and Jobify. So we're going to launch a new service as well, a Malay job site. So and we have roughly about 70 employees, and we have 9,000 clients currently. JobStore, we have 4 products. We started as online advertising platforms. So JobStore.com, I think this is why our company name come from. So then in 2018, the first 3 years, our revenue is 100% from online advertising business. But in 2018, we started Jobify, an IT talent search companies, only focus on IT positions. And in 2019, we launched our AI software focused on human capital management. We have roughly about 15 clients in Malaysia and Singapore and Australia right now. And then we're going to launch a new service called Kejaya.my in next couple of maybe 1 or 2 months. So we only focus on Malay Canadians. This is our history, financial history. So in the past 4 years, our first year revenue was 2 million ringgit, then growth to 6.6. Last year we did 8 million. Then this year, because our financial year is end of June, so by this month we estimate our revenue will be close to 12 million ringgit, and net profit will be 1.5 million ringgit. So this is our 2021 projects, which means for the next financial years. So we have Australian companies, and few other Malaysian companies. We just signed up the contract. So the total value right now we have about close to 22 millions, and also we have roughly about 5 million contracts right now is current pending for final confirmation. It supposedly should be confirmed by this month, but because the MCO and the virus, so it got a bit delayed. So, but there's a few clients also, not willing to proceed anymore. So I think in 2021, our total projection for the project value for the software, so for the software only, not including the advertising and the headcounting service. So total we estimate about 23 to 25 million, because that's including the implementation will be taking 1 to 2 years. So we estimate the revenue should be at least half of that. And all the clients we actually is based on SaaS model, so it's recurring revenues. For example, take an example like Tune Protect. So the recurring revenue should be around 30 to 40% every year. This will be our forecasting for the next 5 years. So next year we're forecasting at 20 million revenues. It's slightly below than our contract values because the implementation timeline, things like that. So by 2026, our estimated revenue will be 52 millions, and the total net profit will be 30 million. So we are targeting to raise about 10 million to 70% will be allocated to the software business, because we need money to support the projects. Not all the clients will pay upfront, and 10% will allocate to JobStore for the working capital, 10% will allocate to Jobify for the working capitals, and 10% will allocate to the new business for the Kejaya.my. Yeah, I think that's all. Thank you.
There we go. We heard this from Anson, CEOs of JobStore Group. And with that, now without further ado, over to you, Jimmy and Kaibing.
Right. I'll first go ahead first, Kaibing then. Right. So thanks for presenting, Anson. I think what will be interesting here is that out of the three verticals that you have at the moment, which will be the key drivers in terms of revenue, as well as traffic. I will envision JobStore by default will be, I think, the pulling bulk of the revenue and traffic. But how does it fit into the talent cloud? And like what sort of savings or synergy do you get from this?
Actually for the past 3 years, our revenues, I would say, most of the revenues are from almost 100% from the online advertising. That's why you see our revenue growing. It's a fast, but not fast enough. Every year we grow for 2 to 3 millions. So for the next few years, from start from now, so we shift our focus to the software business, because each software we sell for, we're actually charging for implementation cost upfront, which means like 70% will be for the implementation cost and 30% will be the recurring revenues. So each deals will be charging between $500,000 to, the highest one so far we get is 20 million. So we estimate in the future our major revenues will be from the software business. And personally, I hope that we will have a 70-80% of revenues from talent cloud software. For JobStore, basically we are not really looking at the traffic, users, whatever. We are looking at the the real users, which means like the real applicants, not the traffic. So we don't care about the traffic, like how many, like 2 million, 3 million users come to our website. We're looking like how many people come to our website to apply the job. So for right now, we can see like every single users come to our website is applying jobs. That's a fantastic number for us. I mean, not 100%, but we currently see 95% of the users come to our website is applying jobs. So all the jobs, all the talent cloud clients will get benefited from the JobStore applicants, which means any client signed with JobStore, any clients who sign with talent cloud, they will be able to access the full database of JobStore. So that's a very good, value-added service for all the clients currently we have.
So then, your concept of customers is enterprise and corporate clients, and like, do you have a sense of how fast could you onboard these enterprise clients onto Talent Cloud, and how much would you have to spend to get these one particular enterprise clients on board in general?
In Talent Cloud, we have focused on the factors, because we are focused on between 500 to 2,000 and 3,000 employees. This type of size of companies. So each of clients we roughly spend about 3 to 6 months to close the deal. The faster one so far is about 1 month, but that one is not standard. So standard is about 3 to 6 months. So we don't have any marketing. We don't do any marketing at all. So the channels we use is website inquiry. The second thing is we do cold calling. And number 3 is clients referral. So we have quite a number of clients referred by other clients as well, because the HR industry is like everybody knows each other. So once we can serve one client, so that other clients will introduce their friends or the previous employers. So the cost to close the deal actually is quite cheap. It's actually very cheap. Yeah, but we do provide a good commission. So that will be the only cost.
Okay, hi Anson. Yeah.
Hi.
So your you're stressing now is the business now you are moving towards more on the cloud, the talent cloud. So,
yeah, the software. Yes.
Okay, software. But I think in your business it's very much like the platform business. You need to get a lot of job conversion, and then you're also providing a lot of job opportunity, like the wheel of the flying wheels and kind of thing.
Yes.
I think so. Currently, you are focusing now on very much on advertisement. There's no marketing teams or personal marketing effort, right? Or very much on that kind of thing. I would suggest maybe you would like to look at as a tools now. As a tools to apply for jobs, maybe you would be able to do some, adding the element of learning tools as a part of a marketing, because I think when people apply to your site, right, they may have confidence, they heard the reputation, stuff like that. But they are still, just like e-commerce platform, as seller in merchants at e-commerce platform, they have a lot of fear, uncertainty, or your client, right? They still need a lot of guidance, kind of thing. So you see how the e-commerce platform is doing. Actually, they spend a lot of resource in their university, in their teaching platform to teach the sellers to become much more efficient and successful case and stuff like that. So I think if you have enough people coming in through platform, because they were coming in through online and stuff like that, if you can do that, it will be actually a sort of marketing tools for you, because you will be able to interact better with your client, because you're teaching them how to perform better, and then what's the trend. Because I think this is what Google and Facebook is doing. Because people have trust you, but then they doesn't, you don't have a person to serve with them, or account manager or something like that. So the other way to do it is to do it on a teaching platform kind of thing. But actually, you are building your marketing, capability to add on it. I think there's always three arrows that we want to apply. One is what we always call the arrow of learning capability. Second is the value. You always see you're offering the value, right? And kind of thing. So and then the third one is of course the tools and stuff like that. So I think there's all these three elements: the learning element, the value element, the tools element. Actually, will make your site much more attractive. So I would suggest maybe you look at that, because I think for you to actually organize a learning platform and to use your platform, also to give insight about the job market and skills to learn to apply and anything. So it's quite simple. It's not too difficult to work.
We provide all this articles and surveys and information to our job seekers as well. But we are just not really spending a lot of money on that. So we actually we invest a lot of money on the software side. Because the software side we have learning platforms. So the idea is in the future, the two business, JobStore and Talent Cloud, will be integrate each other. So the JobStore users will be benefited from the Talent Cloud learning platform as well. So the Talent Cloud platform learning platform will be getting all the content from all the leading learning websites. So this is what we're doing right now. We hope that two business can integrate and can learn, can benefit each other. We can build our own internal kind of ecosystem.
Okay, it's interesting you brought that up, Manson. I think from the financials you just displayed earlier, it appears that you guys is in a good trajectory in also breaking even this year, and that will mean, I think, in terms of the cash flow pressure, it may not be that severe, unlike typical startup then. I think where it will help us to understand is why the focus on AI, when I think starting as a startup, it is always growth at all costs. What about customer acquisitions? It is good that you have existing referrals, organic growth from existing clients, why not? But is there a reason why there's not much of a mention on wanting to be a bit more aggressive and acquire customers by spending a bit more dollars as well?
The problem is we are we are more take care on the quality side right now because we just started the software business for like just close to 1.5 years, for example. So the problem is if let's say we get too many clients, we will face a big problems to make sure the implementation will be on schedule. So because we don't have enough teams, so I also worry that because my past experience like JobStore, you can see for the past few years we have lost money. So I'm really worried that if let's say the talent cloud still recurring the same things, still lost money. So it's quite difficult. It's quite difficult. So that's why I say right now I make sure that every single client we sign up, we make money and we are profitable. And then when we have few more clients, we have more recurring revenues. We keep adding more people, then we can spend more.
Also, you typically sign up a client on an annual revenue basis, and they'll pay you an implementation fees as well. What you're trying to guide here, the bottleneck will typically be at the implementation phase, onboarding each of these customers, right? Is there a possibility to outsource it to a third party SI to help you with the onboarding process?
Right now we don't want because we want to make sure the client happy.
Okay.
We want to, and also when we do the implementation, we learn from that. We learn from the process. We don't want to, get someone else to handle, and the client's not happy because we are actually facing a lot of complaints from other vendors as well. So that's why right now we don't want to outsource. We want to do it maybe a little bit slow, but because I learned from my job for experience, so I just want to make sure that we are profitable from the business.
How many business development or implementation headcount do you have right now?
Right now we have 20 people in the team for the software.
Okay.
All right, okay. Here we are. So thank you so much, Anson, and we have heard from both Kaiping and Jimmy as well. So now from central of Peninsula to northern Peninsula, and here we are. We have Yongning, the Chief Executive Officer of Pentaip.
Hi everyone.
We have 8 seconds to go. Over to you, Yongning.
Yeah, thank you. So actually, I'm from Pentaip. I'm the founder. And then when you talk about Pentaip, in short, to introduce us is actually we are doing robo-advisor for investment. So the problem that we actually are trying to solve is very simple. When everything come about investment, then we actually offer the robo-advisor solution because investment is something that very difficult. But we can say that almost everyone needs investment. So what we're trying to do is we want to make the entry barrier as low as possible with robo-advisor. So this will be the product that we're going to launch in the end of this year, a robo-advisor exchange. That we will offer 300,000 robo-advisor, and then each robo-advisor is unique, which means that it's not one robo-advisor who offer 300,000 service. It's actually 300,000 different type of robo-advisor which cover different global, different country, different sector, different industry, and available in mobile and apps. And most importantly, there is no minimum deposit. So, and how it works is actually very simple. You download or visit our site, you deposit the money, and then you choose the robo-advisor that suits you. So what means you choose a robo-advisor that suits you? So let's say like example, let's say like Kaiping is maybe from the SITEC, so which means you see a lot of innovative company before, then you might have some view on technology, okay? But when you want to invest in technology, can you find a robo-advisor for just specialized in technology, maybe in Southeast Asia technology? No, and fine. If you want to invest yourself, you have to do a lot of research. So with our platform, you can just come here and then just find Southeast Asia technology sector, and you can even specialize, choose a focus area like artificial intelligence company, in listed company. So this is what we offer, which means that you choose whatever that you really need to invest. And our business model is extremely simple. Let's say like every $100 that you put here, we upfront charge 1%, which means $1. It's typical hedge fund model. So if you know hedge fund model, then you know there is also performance fee. So performance fee is also very simple. Below 15% return, we charge 5%. Above 50% return, we charge 25%. Straightforward. And then, so which means this is our business model. But if you subscribe to our package, then the management fee will get discount as well. So our current stage is at a C stage. And then in Malaysia, our competitor is StashAway. And then, but actually, they actually only offer one robo-advisor, which means if you go to them, either you like it or either you don't like it. Then you can't really choose. And then in the US, Sophie and Betterment is already in the success stage. And then 90% of the robo-advisor now is actually in US, which means the outside of US is just start. And then we actually are trying to tap into this trend. So this is the team. So I'm the founder, and actually I'm a serial entrepreneur. I'm the Synergy founding team as well. They are licensed by SC Malaysia, and currently we actually have 30 million ringgit in Malaysia, and I have 10 years investment experience, which means this is where my bread and butter come from, and 5 years experience in quantitative trading. And my CTO, Dr. Kwa, is a PhD in blockchain, and he has 21 years experience in engineering, and he's also a big data and AI expert. And then we have a partner with GreenPro, and then GreenPro is a Nasdaq listed company and Hong Kong based. So our partnership is very simple to say is they take care of all the compliance, we take care of all the technology. It's simple to say is this way. So currently we are actually fundraising through crowdpass.asia, already launched. And then we are targeting to raise maximum 3 million ringgit and 1 million from my chief, which means that we target to raise from public 2 million. And then with a valuation of 7 million US dollar. And then this is the package that we offer. So the minimum package starts from 3,000, and then there is no cap. You can invest up to 2 million if you like to. And then we also have an IPO plan that planned by GreenPro Capital, which they will lead us to the IPO. And if IPO happen in the first quarter of next year, then the investor will have around 300% return, or else they will get 10% dividend interest per year for 3 years maturity. So thank you. And this, if let's say any interested, can just contact me or Wiki. And then in simple to say, is actually invest to us is just invest into a robo-advisor, wealth management company. Thank you.
Right, just right on time. Thanks, Yonk. And also, just for everybody's attention, as idea, I also will be launching the ECF campaign tomorrow at the same time. So stay excited with Pentaip. So with that, now over to you, Kaiping and Jimmy.
Okay. My first question is, what's your main cost? Is it the technology cost, AI? And then have you done the survey? How much? What's the threshold of the investor willing to put on until a certain amount? What's the threshold? And then why it doesn't go above on that threshold? Do you have that figure?
Yeah, can I actually directly share screen one more time to show you a number to answer this question? Yeah, just let me share the screen.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so I hope that everyone can see the screen. So this is actually this is actually the official pitch deck for the crowdpass.asia, and this actually represents the market. So at 2010, John Steen started the first robo-advisor firm, Betterment, and today there's 100 cover company in robo-advisor business, but 90% of them are in Canada and US. And then also all the numbers here, remember 90% are in US and Canada. So today, as of today, the global level, there is 70.5 million users actually are using robo-advisor, and 90% are in US. And then the growth rate is every year really growing around 40 something to 50 something percent every year, which means that last year increased 38 million users. And then the AUM is asset under management. Asset under management is 1.4 trillion US dollar under 100 robo-advisor managed. And then the growth rate is also 40 to 50+% year over year. And then average a user invest through robo-advisor is 20,000 US dollar. And then it's very often that a robo-advisor 1.0 generation, they are compared with mutual fund. So the total mutual fund size currently is 47 trillion US dollar. And then it's managed by almost 1 million plus fund manager around the world. And all this number actually possible, a lot of them will be replaced by a robo-advisor, and it's estimated to grow more than double to 3.4 trillion at 3 years later. And the number are from the statistic robo-advisor digital market outlook 2000. So this is the source. And then the average return of the robo-advisor 1.0, the first generation of robo-advisor, is slightly higher than mutual fund, because mutual fund, if you include the bond and include the stock index, then the average is around 5.4%. And robo-advisor in the low average is above 7%. Above 6.8%. So this is the answer to the market. I hope this slide can explain to your question.
Yeah. Maybe my question is that, have you done a survey or getting a source about how much the let's say Malaysian investor, or Malaysian or Singapore investor willing to put their investment, how much or based on robo advisor? Do you have a threshold of that?
I can slideshow don't have, because Malaysia there's a 3 robo advisor. One is actually a StashAway, famous one, and then second Michael and Wahab. So these 3 famous one, of course we hope that we are the number 4, number 5 one, and then but they didn't disclose any data. They didn't disclose any data like how many users they have or how much AUM they have. But then what we actually can know from there is actually how to say. Okay, I give a very simple number. Our ECF campaign launched the second day. Today is the third day, if I'm not mistaken. And then the passion of people interest is 2.5 times more than the traditional campaign. So this actually can represent that the young people and the people who have vision for AI actually is stronger than we ourselves expect as well. Thank you.
So, but your course is mostly in technology course, right?
The last year when we are developing, then the cost, yes, you are right, is mostly on the head count and developing count and architecture, the cloud and server. Okay, but now we actually go into the business setup. So when we come into the business setup, then the cost will actually include the operation, like setting up the business flow, fund management, and everything set up. Then so it actually should include expansion costs already.
All right. So thanks for asking the few points, sorry, typing, and as well as I think from my end, I think the question would be on I think 2 questions. One is on who are providing the robo advisors to you, because ultimately there is a fiduciary duties in managing all these investors' funds as well. In the event, like I guess 1 or 2 of these robots that are on the platform may invest fraudulently or without much regards to parameters, then you will have a problem. So I think that's one question. And the second question is the go-to-market strategy. Do you intend to leverage on any partners? Because I think how you have guided is that the robo-advisor will be growing at a much faster pace, competing and winning against the traditional model. Ultimately, there are traditional players that you could then leverage on and partner as well. So I think these are probably the 2 questions I have in my mind right now.
So the first question, who is the provider of robo-advisor? We ourselves is the framework provider, which means that we create actually a chessboard. And this chessboard allows the robo-advisor to be trained there, to specialize in different fields. So, and then the second question about the go-to-market strategy, we have 2 targets. First target is B2C, which you see that is a robo exchange, no minimum deposit. And second target is high network. So, which means that we want to convert, we want to empower the traditional fund, traditional institution to turn into robo-advisor. So, which means this is our our target market, and how we go is B2B with through agent, and B2C were through coupon, word of mouth, coupon, and user acquisition.
Okay, so it is very much thematic that your robo-advisors are obviously the parameters will be set by Pentaip and also uploaded on the platform. And this is thematic, I would say thematic robo-advisors with certain focus, certain parameters will then be made public to potential investors. And so giving your investors choices are good, but at the same time as well, is there any, do you have a sense of what will probably be the best-selling robo-advisors for your incoming investors?
Usually, I like this question a lot because the selling point for us might be very different than from the traditional way of looking at it. And I would like to explain a bit of my personal vision. Actually, you see, let's like here today night, there's 38 participants in this Zoom meeting. 38 people all have vision to some industry, but human vision never able to monetize. Which means that when you have a strong belief to crypto or you have a strong belief to AI, but if you want to go into investment yourself, you are unable to actually to do so much of research to choose the right company. And what we actually would like to deliver to the society is we want people can make their vision work for them, really make their vision to able to monetize for them, and that is the way that we believe we can bring out the word of uh, the I don't know what is the English word, the viral marketing, because it might be the first time that people can really monetize their vision.
Okay, and I think personally, I've always have a soft spot for robo-advisor. I think it helps, it provides access to the masses, but at the same time as well, I think it is also out of the idea of being able to provide them return. I think the idea of how I guess you best attract them is generating a sufficient and attractive return. But how would it be possible? So for example, okay, let's talk about the masses, right? Typically, they may have X amount of savings in the account. For them to generate, say, for them to actually deposit 100 ringgit every week, they may want to have something that's like significantly better than FD. Okay, else the typical characteristic of that segment is that they will then spend. I will indulge. I will get my benefit now, rather than to get something that's maybe 0.5% better than FD. So it has to be significant. Then, for you to be able to attract these masses, you have to be able to provide them not just choices, but choices that can bring return. And especially speaking through the back testing, have you been able to demonstrate that?
Yes, and then so actually to answer to this, I like this so much because it's actually is already covered in one of our master slide. And then the source is actually like that. The robo-advisor have different tier. So different tier, which means that there is a different risk level from 1 to 5 to very high risk. And the maximum risk you can even choose to lose 100% of your principal. And the lowest risk you can choose to even lose maybe just 5% of your principal. So which means that what we actually really offer to people not only invest through vision, also actually they are exposed, they are actually open for the choice of low risk, low return or high risk, high return. Because just like you said, example, the saving. So let's say like a person, he making maybe 5,000 a month and there's 2,000 extra left. But this 2,000, if he decide to take 1,000 to invest, 3% or 7% for 1,000 is really meaningless. People willing to take risks. I mean, when people willing to take risks, but there is no choice. There is no choice, and that's why money game becomes so popular because the choice are not exposed to them. So for the people who willing to take risks, just go ahead to risk on their vision. And for the people who not willing to take risks, just choose the robo advisor that are diversified enough. So this can actually limit out a lot of the risk. So actually what we really want to do is we want to make investment to become a norm, make wealth management a norm for everyone, no matter you're high level or no matter you're working class. High level people also have the low risk and high risk requirement because let's say they have 100 million, 90 million they want to put in the safe. And 10 million, and within the 10 million, maybe 5 million, they actually are looking for some place for high risk, high return, and even a more liquid solution. And in front of the risk, in front of the requirement for low risk, low return, or high risk, high return, everyone has the need, no matter what kind of status you are in the society. So which means it's simple to say that the TA audience here, probably all are my target audience, my target client. Thank you.
Great, and there you go. Thank you so much, Yongning from all the way from Penang, and of course, Yong is also gonna have also posted up, in the Zoom chat box. If you guys want to reach out, understand more, wealth management, you feel free to speak to him. So 3 down, 2 more to go. So next is we're gonna hear a dynamic duo, and here we are presenting Khalid Gibran and also Gary Chin. They're the co-founders of Exclusive Promotion. So, to the dynamic duo, over to you. You have 5 minutes of your pitch. That's all now.
Yeah, hi, good morning. So I'm Khalid, and I've got my partner here, Gary. We're actually pitching for to extend our B2B business into B2C. So we're actually putting up an e-com platform called My Cooking Story. But before I talk about My Cooking Story, I'd like my partner to explain to you what we do now.
Hello, good morning. So as you can see from the slides, both Khalid and I are currently running as Promosi. We actually provide marketing solutions and retail marketing programs to retailers. We work in several countries, as you can see, all over Southeast Asia. Currently, all our clients are blue chip clients, blue chip retailers such as Giant, Aeon, 7-Eleven. In Indonesia, you have Hypermart, Foodland, and also Alfamart in the Philippines. So on average, each year we sell typically about 2.5 million pieces of kitchenware through their shoppers through our unique marketing loyalty programs. That is actually basically our current business, which we have been running for the last 6 years. And over to you, Khalid.
Thank you, Gary. So, we've all been through the last few months during the MCO crisis, and there have been some new trends that have been spotted. Don't want to go into too much details because we all know about them. As you can see, home cooking and baking actually took center stage. It grew. Because of that, people started shopping a lot in supermarkets, who are our customers already. And also they started buying kitchen utensils online, and the surge in sales for that went up by 880%. So that's that. That's the good news. And then there's also some other news that's up and coming, which is recession and unemployment. So we've got to keep in mind, we've got to create a solution that caters for the opportunity as well as addresses the concern in the future. So this is where we came up with selling professional kitchenware at affordable prices, and we created an e-com platform called My Cooking Story. As you can see, we're going to be selling some international brands, high quality, at very affordable prices. So what makes us qualified, or why did we come up with this, and why are we going to be successful in building this e-com site? It's very simple. The growth of our clients' business right now, which is supermarkets where people are buying a lot. The second is we've got an audience, or we've got buyers of 2.5 million people around the region that are already buying our cookware through our B2B business. And of course, our experience in sourcing, logistics, and supply chain. So it's just a matter of innovation, which is My Cooking Story, an e-com platform that sells professional kitchenware at affordable prices, and pretty much scaling that up to the next level. This is where we're looking at funding to scale up. And what's that funding going to be used for? It's very simple. It's to convert the 2.5 million B2B shoppers into B2C, as well as going regional. That's it from us.
Right, thank you so much to our dynamic duo. And right now, so let's hear what our panelists got to say.
Hi. My question would be, you're talking about growing your business and by selling the affordable kitchenware. So, do you clearly identify your target audience to be, whether it's a business or family or housewife or others?
Yeah, I think our target markets are very defined. It's actually the housewife, the home cooks. Over the last 6 years, and before that, we were already in this industry for the last 13 years before that. So altogether 20 years. We have been very specific in targeting home cooks aged between 25 to 55. These are the typical target market who actually redeem our kitchenware and cookware through our unique marketing programs through the retailers. So we know our customers, and that's the reason why we want to start this platform, because there's already a specific target to actually convert into the e-platform.
Just to add on to that, we're just trying to go. We used to go through a channel which is B2B, which is our retailers, but now we're trying to go direct to our customers.
Yeah. So even though we are working with B2B right now, but our rewards actually reach 2.5 million of consumers. So in a way, our products reach consumers. It's not consumed by the business, right? So So we believe we have a good base and we know our customers very well.
It means that you are building your own channel to reach the consumer market, right?
Yes.
So it will put you in competition, I assume, put you in competition with others, cookware sellers in the market, especially all the electronic shops. Something like those who sell bread maker, stand mixer, air fryers, ovens, Is that so?
So it's a good question, but our kitchenware is not electronic, so it's usually a cookware range, bakeware, cutlery, things like that. The other thing is in terms of competition, of course, you can find them at Shopee, Lazada, and so on. But the first thing is we're specialists. So we're specialists in kitchenware, and our sourcing and our pricing is very sharp because we have looked at their pricing. The second thing is, we've got international brands that we're bringing in exclusively, where we are the resellers of those exclusive brands in Malaysia, right? So there is going to be a differentiation. And one other thing, the name of the platform, it's not kitchenware or cookware, it's My Cooking Story. So we're actually building a community rather than just selling products, a community of passionate home cooks. So that's where we're going.
So I just want to add a little bit on that. So even though we are talking about home cooks, we are based on COVID-19, we found that people are more passionate about cooking healthily for the family. But we are backing it up with a solid current business that we are doing. Okay. So when we talk about 2.5 million rewards of ours reaching our end users every year, you can imagine the kind of volume that we are doing regionally. So we believe we have done our survey. We can source kitchenware in a much more lower cost, which will bring economies of scale. That's hence the tagline of selling branded kitchenware, bringing branded kitchenware at an affordable price to the customers.
Okay. So I think the fund you raised will mainly put in the marketing channel, right? In terms of, because you are doing that goal, you are going directly to the consumer itself. So how fast and in what skill that you will be able, your confidence to be able to establish that channel, or how much are you spending on more online or offline channel?
Okay, so My Cooking Story, the e-com platform, is officially launching in August, but soft launch will be on the 1st of July. Because the thing is, we've already got access to products, we've got warehouses, and we can start selling tomorrow. And the investment will go towards social media. As you rightly put it, that's where we're going to put the investment. Some of it will go there, some of it will go into converting our 2.5 million B2B customers into our e-com customers.
Okay, that actually sound more like an O2O model because you're online and then your product is very much offline kind of product that really and then people so I think the challenge is now to really convert you can reach 2.5 million, right? But how much is the conversion that you were able to confidence to being able to convert them to actually to buy from you and stuff like that? Do you have any specific strategy to increase your conversion?
So very good question. Because they are captured audience, they already buy our brands, these 2.5 million people, we are very confident to convert at least 10%. So we're talking about 250,000 straight away.
Okay. Usually the online conversion in Malaysia is, averagely is 3%, as well as for various type of product, that depends on variety. But now because of the MCO, I believe the number can go one-fold because I think that all the e-commerce number has go one-fold. So I think And then especially you're looking at all the cooking essential material has gone few thousand%. I mean, you MCO, but I presume you will continue like that. So you got a big, trying to catch on it. But then I think you also will have a lot of competitors who will be coming in as well. All the Senghen, Kin, and then I mean that's the electronic part, but also some other competitor will be coming in to join in the competition. So I think that will be your challenge to really compete, stand uniquely out of the whole market trend.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's why we need the investment to scale up really quickly. And the other angle we've come up with is we're not product salespeople only, we're actually building a community. So there's going to be recipes, sharing of recipes, sharing of cooking habits, things like that. So it's not just just product that we're selling, we're building a community.
Right, thank you so much, gentlemen, and thanks to Khalid and Gary. So we have heard 4 companies that I have pitched, and without further ado, we have now entered our last pitches of the day, and it's none other than Andy Lur, who's the Chief Executive Officer from Reka Setia. You have 5 minutes as a pitch, 10 seconds from now. So with that, Andy, that's a lot.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Andy Laos. Hong Kong Andy Laos bring the happiness on the stage and the concert. I'm Andy Lau from Malaysia, bring the family happiness on the playground. That's we connecting people with play. Today, I want to introduce you to Community Intelligent Parks. We are the more than 19 years company in Malaysia, the leading the prestige children playground, and our mission is we're going to, as a prestige customized playground manufacturers and listed in 2025, our mission is let all the users to keep their childhood memory in their life. And our core value is promise, responsibility, and contribution. And this is a milestone for my business. We have received more than 10 awards recognized by MITI and Matric. And this is my team. Is platform we have this system, we have a visitor type. We are looking for the new investment in the joint venture, the business in overseas. So we look at how this CIS will work. We have a whole Malaysia, we have a 4,881 park, which is almost a quarter size of Singapore. So
Andy, your connection is not quite good.
Park and
Andy,
adopt the park from the local council. And yes. Oh, really? Okay, sorry about that.
Your network bandwidth is quite low, so you probably might want to start from this slide itself.
Oh, all right. Sorry about that. Okay, sure. Sorry about that, gentlemen. Sorry about that. So, we come from here. Is it okay? The line is all right. So we will start again from here to introduce my company. We are more than 19 years in the manufacturing of the children playground in Malaysia, and our vision is to inspire to do a prestige customized playground system and listed on year 2025. Our mission is let the user to have an experience or keep their childhood memory in their life. And our core value is promise, responsibility, and contributions. And this is all the milestone for my business. We have received more than 10 awards, which is recognized by MITI and Matric. And this is my team. Yeah, we have all the HOD team, and this is a young and dynamic team. And this is the business model. We have a manufacturing, we have an information technology, means in the core business, we are manufacturing of the children playground, and information technology is more on the IoT, O2O, and tech business platform is more on the taking the visitor analysis all the data. And we are looking on the new investment is like if we are going to joint venture and export the idea to the overseas. And how this CIS to work? The whole Malaysia, we have 4,081, right? 881 park, which is the local council, they have a difficulty for the upgrading because the service and maintenance is really costly to the council. How we work, and we try to make this to the community intelligent part and connecting with the local council means we adopt the public park and we look for the sponsor to sponsor the hardware like playground equipments, all the connecting system, which is we connecting everything come into the pictures. And how this work? That's we have a loyalty reward program, which is when the user to use it, the apps, you can exercise and collecting the point. The point for the sponsor part, you can use the point to change into the voucher, okay, or the free gift. As well, in other side of the council, you can use the point to pay the quick land, parking tickets, all these things. All come into with the big data, the data to be justified for the council for the KPI to show how many users in the park, how frequent the people using the park as well. They have a weather forecast, A index, all those information will be helping the council. And the other part, the sponsor can define the user to use the digital advertising. And how it works? Like the sponsor, you are selling the candy, chocolates, we can make the candy trees for them. If you're selling a stationery, we can put your brand name on the stationery, or even you want to emphasize your brand name, we can make into the brand to the equipment. If you are the insurance and the bank come at the bank, we can use the alphabet to represent your company. And this how the revenue stream to be are. And each of the year we have a manufacturing, hardware, O2O, IoT, and as well we have a joint venture in overseas. Come into the year 2024, we're looking for 9 million profit only. And this round we're going to target the valuations is 25 million. We're going to dilute 20% of the share. We raise 5 millions, and the minimum investment is 250,000. What we use for this fund, we're going to develop the software and hardware apps as well, and 50% for it, and sales and marketing 20% for it, and advertising and promotion 30% for it. And please feel free and contact me. I am Andy Lau. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Andy. Thank you. Now
thank you.
Jimmy and Kai-Ping.
Right. So thanks for showing us the quick run on that, and it definitely gives a bit of a happiness by looking at all the applications for children. Yeah. So Andy, I think where you could help us connect the few gaps that I have in my mind right now is that how would it help how would it help Reka Setia from being able to design and build playgrounds, and in being able to then roll out and onboard these parks as one of your touch points? Would you be going through the local city councils, or would you then prefer to perhaps go with the developers instead?
Actually, we go to the local council. We have we call National Landscape, Jakarta Landscape Negara. Actually, we have a first part already in hand on March. Due to the MOC, we can't carry out anything yet. But the project is definitely we're going to complete by this year. So the park is in Bukit Kara, is quite a prestige park, quite a crowded park. So we're going to looking to build the facility first, mean the use of hardware and software to build in first, and then to attract the sponsor. Because the one park, I don't think so. One sponsor can be taking the whole park. Maybe we separate to the separate the pieces. Okay, you can wait for me in the gate A last time. Now gate Puma, gate Adidas. This is all the name you putting in the parks to enhance the awareness of the branding, as well all the CCTV, the supplier, they will supply the machines. Okay, this is a record tower, this is a monitor tower, this is how we're going to work on to connecting the councils. The councils is very happy. Yeah, when I presented to the council say, yes, this is the right move. It's something to benefit the government. So we don't take any single cent from it, but we just ask for the sponsor to sponsor the park.
Got it. So this is in reference to the public nature park and not so much of a playground.
Yes.
Tapping on to sponsorship CSR budget, and then at the same time, well, obviously city councils, it may not be their focus in obviously maintaining and upgrading these parks. So you are coming to get in matching the private sector CSR budget. At the same time, obviously the public sector's inability to obviously maintain this as much as they could as well. Then what would be the sweet spot when it comes to the number of parks before you want to roll out additional ancillary services on top? So I think I noticed that there are also rewards and the membership solutions and vertical as well. But what would be the sweet spot before you start embarking on the version 2? So by reference to sweet spot, meaning you have one park that's coming on board, but what about a few more down the line? Would you wait till you have 3 or 4 parks before you roll out, or you want to run parallel concurrently as well?
Definitely, this is the first part. The first part we are getting the right to the upgradings. Of course, this is a module park. The module park we're going to make like a sample park for everyone. Definitely, under the National Landscape Department, there were 4,081 park to choose, but yeah, we are very choosy to choose those of a very popular like TT Wangsa, those of a very big park to adopt in to attract the more sponsor for it. This is our core. So of course later on this idea we can export it because we have export to 18 countries throughout the worldwide. So believe me, I'm seeing these all things in overseas. In Thailand, Unilever was been every year they're doing CSR to donating the playground. But this is the right way we are trying to connecting with the new technology like apps, all those things, to benefit all the people like sponsor and council as well.
Would you mind sharing what the typical donation or the CSR that would typically comes with a travel enterprise just to have one of the gates be named after their brand?
I think putting a billboard it will cost you about 200,000 a year easily. All right. But I don't see even you put the QR code there. I don't see people stop the car and go and scan the QR code. But on the park, yes, they can do it. We can do it the way is on ROT, the apps, or even the small signage to tell them the park is sponsored by who, and what are the benefit you can use for these apps. This is a way we're trying to attract the user.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, Andy.
Hi, Mr. Young.
Hi, Mr. Young. I like your ideas. I think you have a lot of potential. You hit the pain point of the local council in Malaysia of difficulty in managing the park, right? And then you come up with a solution for them. But then in terms of implementation, I think you have 2 challenges. One is to getting as much of the local council to support your program, because some of the local council are very conservative because they don't want to have mistake happen, right? So the challenge is to and also they will worry about the maintenance, ability to sustain the whole project for quite some time, so a long time. And then because you have advertisement and or CSR project coming in, so then there's a time commitment towards that. And the other one is the issues for the CSR or the apps, right, is the visibility. So I think there will be a challenge of you. How do you organize visibility in the park? I don't think you can put up such a big billboard. In the park, there was certain restriction on the park, so you need to be very creative about the visibility, the kind of visibility. I can give you an example. Of course, you know the Nike running park in Manila on top of the building or something like that. And then that kind of thing. You need to really create some unique, uniqueness on that park that people, because and also with the behavior of the people surrounding why they went to the park, right? So if you create that unique kind of thing, like the Nike running park at night in Manila, I think that's a brilliant idea that which we can replicate in Malaysia. And of course, I agree with you that we have so much facilities, sports and parks and facilities in Malaysia that are underutilized. And also we haven't been able to. We only have used it on evening, right? So there are no activities like I've seen in Taiwan, China, like morning activities like fully utilized Tai Chi class and everything for the elderly, for the kids. And then the evening is for the group, for the measured people to use it as a sports. So you'll be able to get community plus education as well as sports, three in one element together. So you fully utilize the park in the morning, afternoon, and the evening. So I think that if you can really work on it, so your clientele will be higher. Because you will want to cater for the veteran, for the kids, as well as for people who are sporty and stuff like that. You will cover all three. So I think you should look at that and having multiple activities and also how to maintain it. And then I think then you will be able to solve your visibility issue, because I don't think you're going to have a big signage and everything. So it has to be something that has its uniqueness. Like just you went to the Nike park, running park in Manila, it doesn't have Nike's so big Nike sign, but everyone knows it's sponsored by Nike, and then it's related to sports self-life. So I think that is something that you wanted to explore, because we also have a lot of kindergarten schools around, and also the elderly. If you look at the China, the elderly has fully occupied the park in China in the morning and also the evening. So this is something that we haven't been able to utilize on.
True. Mr. Young, actually, we are the manufacturers. We are specialized in customized children playground. Yeah, means we cannot put a big signage, a big billboard in the park, but we can design, like you are the Adidas or Nike. We can make the playground in the shoe, all right, with your logo and put up your QR code. So something the kid you'll be adopting. This is Nike. This is Adidas. All right. Okay. If you selling those consumer products, so we try to design your consumer product to a playground. So let the people have the feelings. Have the feelings. It's like the previously we in the school, the Milo car every seasoning coming to the school for the free sampling. Even we are thinking to have a second stage, but this is later on. We put up the visual store, but it's no product. You have a good feelings, the products from the sponsor. This is on stage 2, coming into the IoT part. So and of course, this is a challenge from the council. Some council are very difficult types, but we deal directly with the Jabatan Landscape Development, which is our national landscape department, which is they are in charge of the whole Malaysia part. All right, so we still to complete the first project. We let them have a feel on the CIS part. Okay, thank you, Mr. Yang.
Alright, so here we are. So it seems like Inlau has a couple of fans here. even Leonard has mentioned in the Zoom comment box is NDI 2 like your business model as well. Really cool potential. So with that, as I know, Andy, best of luck. And of course, as we look forward to you creating massive impact to the society. So with that being said, ladies and gents, here we are. We have heard 5 promising companies, 5 renowned entrepreneurs who have successfully presented their pitches to our panelists. So with that right now, we would like our viewers who's watching on Facebook as well as on Zoom, this is your time for participation. Do write down your questions. If you do have any question, do shoot to the panelists. And so therefore, the panelists were able to answer them. Okay. So with that, without further ado, I would now like to invite all panelists, including myself, and let's just get ball rolling. So. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. Are we doing sharing?
Yes. Yeah. So who we have is right over here now. So we have myself, Kai Ping, and of course Jimmy and also Williams. Will be sitting on the bench of panelists. Just to really wrap up, what we have all discussed about. So we have 5 companies and entrepreneurs who have presented. Each one actually have their own unique selling proposition, their own verticals, their own focuses in the respective industry. Just a really very quick summary. What are the 3 key takeaways from today's virtual live pitching session from what you have heard?
Arthur, let me kickstart the comment after the presentation today. Right? I think we have 5 very good pitch. I think they all are very interesting. I just summarize up some of the challenge during the pitch. I think the challenge would be one, the USP, the unique selling point are not as emphasized as much as possible. So what's your unique selling point? Your key competitor, how do you going to break out from your key competitor? So I think that's where the investor will be looking at. And also I think the challenge is to list up the question will be whether you are asset light or asset heavy. So what's your asset, your biggest hurdle to I think you must able to explain that. I think in terms of asset issues, that's a challenge, whether in technology or non-technology. And the third thing is, yes, I think a lot of the companies are looking for marketing costs, a number of them. So yes, we know that marketing, whether it's online, offline, is quite crucial. But you need to also stress on, if you have that, the cost is, what is your strategy to win? You can't say I need so much money as a marketing strategy, but actually I also have a strategy to win, to break through, from the other competitor as well. So that the investor will have confidence in you, that if you are able to manage your asset light, you have that. If you have that investment, you're able to break through and win strategy to win. At least you have that, rather than just a plain a general strategy of marketing. So I think that should be strength. So it's all gel together with your unique selling point. You'll be able to have that strategy to win. And then I think lastly, you'll be able to manage your asset. What's your cost? How do you manage your asset life? And then go over the hurdle. That's all I mean. Thank you.
Right. So I guess from my end, I think these are all very 5 great companies. Very interesting as well. It's a pretty good mix of B2B as well as B2C play here. Especially, I think we have a good mix of companies that are targeting enterprises in trying to improve
there's new solutions out there. We also have Reka Setia, who is obviously revamping these existing models to tap on some of the gaps in the traditional space as well. And from there on to build proper foundations to leverage on and roll out a new enterprises play as well. I think these are very interesting. But from what I could gather is that these companies in general, okay, have a very good vision and product. I think what will be interesting or critical in picking the interest of potential investors is to be able to tell them, look, this is a problem. I'm competing with A, a traditional guy, or B, with existing peers in startup play, and I intend to win, but how? Okay, I think what's interesting is that how would you intend to win? Not so much on the qualitative factor, because I think qualitative factors will be covered by your product, okay, what you're selling, but the quantitative aspect is that how much do you think you want to spend, and this is the estimated results. And along the way, you may experiment. I think what investors will not want is that you promise them something. I think effectively, I think promises and forward-looking statements are something that everyone wants to go on. But typically, some metrics, okay, or some small experiment along the way to show that your tractions as well as your thesis on the cost growth is not too far off track. I think you need to demonstrate. For example, you may have. I think if I could just narrow it down further, I may have, for example, 2 business development guys. Each of them are bringing how many X amount of leads and what's my sales cycle. And these are organically. I think economically, they are also bringing X amount of money as well. So at the back of my mind, from a potential investor perspective, is that they would think, okay, from 2 business development, can I then improve it to say 3 or 4? Would then I see a doubling of leads or revenue perhaps, while at the same time maintaining your cost? I think for investors are generally entrepreneurs themselves as well. Being an entrepreneur, they want to balance revenue and cost. So I think on the second good takeaway I have is that I think more often than not, I think I mean, a bit of background as well. I think most companies typically look at B2B play, very heavy in Singapore by design, is because a lot of our startups are servicing, I think, enterprises in regional as well. So we are relooking to Malaysia, and today is a very fresh review of what we have in Malaysia as well. We have a very good mix of startups that are in the traditional space. We think it is something of interest for us, but at the same time, we would want to see startups that have gone on further and beyond from just product market fit. Being able to demonstrate, I think, 1 or 2 key clients, not so much from paying clients, at least to help anchor and validate a product, is also crucial in this part of the world. Totally understand some of these startups may be pre-revenue, but having these clients on board to give feedbacks is so crucial and give some sense of what is the pain point in leveraging to the 3rd, 4th, 5th clients. So I think lastly, what I would want to have is also in Malaysia, we have a good mix of I think urban, rural. We also have a good mix of I think at once industry as well as traditional enterprises. Please help investors visualize the commonalities across Southeast Asia. Ideally, the valuation that you are asking for would have to be able to be leveraged across Southeast Asia, not just Malaysia. That will also help also your fundraising stories along the way. And it's not just Malaysia done and full stop. You need to help us to find the commonalities. How do you intend to target the X segment across Southeast Asia, and then or perhaps some sense of economics and cost as well. I think ultimately it's also not just the immediate term fundraising, but over the longer period, what are the data points that could help your investors to say yes to you? Thank you.
After you forget to unmute your mic.
Yes. So basically, so whatever all this is, founders as entrepreneurs as they have pitched, it's pretty much probably even their ideas as have already been achieved. It's right before there's ongoing and long hauls pandemic that's taking place. Now, I think what we are facing right now with this whole long hauls pandemic that's taking place, I think I want to ask is like, well, basically I have two questions. What has changed in the whole entire capital raising ecosystem? And my second question would be, what will be the major areas for startup founders, entrepreneurs to majorly focus in? Or fundamentally, of course, it's like we all agree that it still has to be the same. To understand your metrics, your financial metrics, your customer acquisition costs, your ratios, all that is like, in terms of numericals, still stays the same. But what has majorly changed? And what are the areas that entrepreneurs have to really be focusing, knowing that this is going to be a long haul ongoing pandemic.
Okay, I'll start off first then. So I think personally the pain points for us now is that COVID-19 does affect our business model in a way. In the sense that getting leads is not the problem, but the problem is like investment, there is an element of human trust. Absent of the handshake would not from the strategic overview affect much, but at the tactical level in pulling the trigger, okay, absent of the handshake would affect how we view the founder. Ideally, I think what we prefer under ideal situation is that being able to get personal with the founders, knowing how they move along point A to point B, seeing how they deliver updates to the investors will give us some sense of comfort. So then if I could just summarize what potential entrepreneurs can do is like this. Along the way, even if an investor say no, do ask them, would they prefer to be on your newsletter? Okay, so they can watch from the sideline, they could get a sense of how you update potential investors or perhaps existing investors as well. The comfort they have is that, look, you don't just walk away after take their money. You progressively update them. You tell them what's the problem. So it helps. It is a stopgap measure when we can't interact with founders face to face. So try to build a relationship, although it's a passive one, but it will help investors form an opinion of you. That's one. Number two, what an investor is looking for right now is a business that is not okay. I mean, it's a bit crude. I mean, not like to say as such, but it is the fact. The fact that you're asking for startup valuation means growth has to come in, and COVID-19 should not be an excuse. Ultimately, you're selling a blue ocean idea, and that particular blue ocean idea should not be handicapped by the accident of COVID-19. Being able to deliver your software solutions or platform online through the infrastructure is one of the key selling points as well. Obviously, we have seen a mixed bag of results from existing portfolio companies as well as incoming portfolio companies and whatnot. There are those that will thrive, surprisingly. There are those that would have to retweak around the delivery channel. But ultimately, I think what an investor want is that your ability to deliver the solutions in an online world. Okay, not so much on the physical channel. We have seen it being done through Zoom. Typically, we invest in B2B. There is a bit of hiccup, but it is possible, and those who have done it well are still showing growth over the last 2 to 3 months as well. So throughout this COVID-19 period, I think try to find ways that to keep your potential investors in arm's length, making sure that they know you along the way. And secondly is to obviously, if there's a need to modify the delivery channel or modify product, please do so, because you need to demonstrate growth for the last 2 to 3 months. And being able to demonstrate that growth, I think wherever you go, whether it's on live pitching sessions or whatnot, you could then tell comfortably to incoming investors that, look, COVID-19 is a black swan, right? And yet you could overcome the problem and still deliver growth for your existing investors.
Yeah, just like what Jimmy said, I think the investors looking at the recession proof of or a crisis proof business model. I think that's quite crucial. I mean, in the macroeconomic perspective, I don't think we were going to see a V shape of bouncing back. Maybe long L, some sort of long L, but maybe a bit of improvement. And then you're looking at the tourism and the airline business are looking at 2023. I mean, there may be a 2 years now, 2 or 3 years of recovery kind of thing. kind of the issues. So the challenge is now, but then on the other hand, you were able to in what as like Jimmy described, the low contact economy kind of thing. So how do you survive through the low growth through low contact economy? And then, but then there's good news about that is that because the amount of e-commerce, just like in year 2001 in China, the Alibaba grew because of the SaaS e-commerce user growth from 20% of the population grew to immediately overnight to 50%. I can see that in across Southeast Asia, the e-commerce and the rest of the internet users and also the wallet, the e-wallet and kind of digital payment actually grow overnight. So it may bring us maybe advance of the 3 or 4 years we're supposed to achieve, but now maybe everyone were more susceptible to that. So I think the challenge now is to how to more reschedule, remodule your business according that trend. I think it's still we have 3 important elements. I would call it 3 arrows. One is to our business model must have something like an element of education because everyone was in online now, so everyone want to learn about your product. So it's actually educating consumer is also one of the marketing strategy. So you must treat it as education. So education is an important arm of marketing. Secondly, you let the people feel that you are value, you have value, your worth. Everyone will join you, use your product as not only satisfy you with the product, but they have certain value that they be able to achieve, kind of thing. So I think that's quite crucial. And then of course the tech element has to come in to, either now we're talking about implementation, AI and the rest, IoT, right? So we are not talking about the high tech over here, but the implementation part. How do you implement it quickly in your business in a cheaper format and also simpler version of it? I think that's the challenge. How do you be able to integrate it into your business, but so that your user will be able to understand it and utilize it? Because I think the issue of technology, I think just like a handphone example, you buy a sophisticated handphone, but then a smartphone, but then you only use 10% of it. So I think now it's the challenge that we always say that we have to use AI, IoT, and stuff like that. How do we make sure that our client actually utilize almost 50-60% of the technology in every element of it, or in our business offering? We will be able to implement in every sector of it. So I think that it won't come from the programmer. It has to come from the entrepreneur itself. Entrepreneur has to work really hard with your UX designer, your technology supplier, to be able to come up with something that is as simple as possible, but also useful. So for example, iPhone, the design iPhone is always make sure that the kids of 3 years old or 5 years old will be able to touch on it, to play on it. So for example, so you must be able to have that kind of mindset that your technology that you offer will be able to be played on, to be enjoyed by kids, everybody, or elderly person and stuff like that. So I think a lot of times our startup always try to offer something that looks very high tech, but then it's very difficult to use. It's not user friendly. I think you have to solve that because I think there's also issues of trust because you were having a long distance, just like Jimmy said, you were not meeting face to face, you were meeting through online and stuff like that. How do you create that trust, that warmth kind of feeling that you have problem, you can always ask for the customer service, always go after the founder. He will always be there to be able to support you. So I think the challenge for this next stage would be everyone is online, but how do we provide that trust, that warmth response, so that you'll be able to get a better user satisfaction.
Thank you you so much, Kai Ping. So we have heard this from both of our panelists. Jimmy is, it's basically focusing, although investors do not invest in here, but it's also a very essential times, for you to be really keeping very close relationship with the respective investor. And with that, so you're able to build a very solid, long relationship. And I always agree that, during trying times as such, it's not so much as about how hard is the selling you are, by showing how much your brands were able to add value and bringing massive impacts to the society, and definitely investors will remember that and will go very long. And what Kai Ping have mentioned, his three major takeaway. I can agree more that education is more important than ever right now. So when people remember how much education is being fed or instills in the mind, this is a time that where they'll always remember. And again, as he did stress, creating massive value. This is a time to to really bring delivers value creation to your users, to your customers, to your partners, to your stakeholders. And this is you will bring your companies to a very, very far long way. And of course, as we heard, as definitely all the companies today is basically have their technology being an enabler. And it's right now COVID-19 had already led the whole digital transformation. So hence it's very important. Kai Ping brought up the third point. It's making your platforms as seamless as possible, easy to be adopting. And so with that, at least 10 people will be embarking into your platform as fast as possible. So with that, very, very constructive feedback. Thank you so much to both of our panelists. I sincerely have learned so much from both of your feedbacks. Yes, what are the better times than today is being the last CMCO day. Of course, we're ending with a bang before we go into our RMCO. So with that, so William, you have something to say for your closing remarks. So I'll pass it over to you and say a few words.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining the forum today. And special thanks for the two panelists, who have shared with all of us, and especially the presenters, the tips and how to attract investments, because all 5 companies here are actually doing a fundraising, they want to hit the market fast, and they want to grow money and then target all their potential customers, partners, and of course competitors as well. So I think that both panelists have give really, really constructive feedback. And also you have here Arthur mentioned just now about the InvestAQ. But I wish to highlight that InvestAQ is an investment relation platform. We want to provide entrepreneurs and investor the right place and right tools to showcase the products, the companies, how to invest or where they want to head after their fundraising exercise. Now of course we do want to highlight fundraising campaign. And yeah, we wish all the entrepreneurs today who pitched their deal a success. If you have any questions, if you want to meet directly with them, do drop me a line. Email us. Or WhatsApp us. And of course, if there's any question or any feedback you want to provide to InvestAQ, please feel free to contact us directly as well. So, and of course, last but not least, we would like to collaborate with all strategic partners, such as ECF platforms, investment banks, and private equity companies, or even VCs, so that we can connect investors and entrepreneurs. So yeah, do stay tuned, and join our future events. We'll keep you posted. All right, Arthur, back to you.
That's right. Thank you so much. I mean, really, to add on as what Williams has said, InvestAQ, it's not a fundraising platform, but we help as founders, entrepreneurs to have a massive impact, creating great values. So hence that they will have a greater and better visibility to investors. And of course, as assisting investors to have the best matchmaking, to the companies and to the right investments that they are looking for. So with that, ladies and gents, again, to all Facebook viewers and to Zoom participants, we thank you, for staying until this, till the end of this session. Before, we wrap up this session, right now, I'm just going to flash it on the screen. Take your phone out, and then after that, scan on the QR code right now. and you were able to join our WhatsApp group. WhatsApp group is it's a community driven. So our community driven, so hence is that you were able to see it on your screen right now. So use take your phone out and then after scan it on the QR code, as well as this is where we will be updating all the events, all the happenings. What we want to create over here is to really bring communities of like-minded people at the same time. And of course, there's really no other better times than really staying united, and really being focused with right people. We believe that no man is an island. Together, we will only able to achieve big things together. So with that, ladies and gents, thank you so much once again to the Kaiping and also to Jimmy and to all the panelists, to all the presenters who are pitch, and also the entire production. And you're probably wondering why am I sitting with a green screen behind? This wonderful media production has specially brought to you by One Broadcast. So in the event if you want to curate as phenomenal virtual events like what we did, me standing on a virtual stage earlier, if you have seen, do reach out to us and we will connect you to the right perspective partner. So with that, thank you so much and enjoy the rest of your CMCO day before we go into normalcy. With that, I'll see you. Until then, we'll meet you. Thank you.